Romana Didulo is the alleged leader of a cult that's been living in a Saskatchewan village for the past 2 years. Didulo live streamed her arrest.
Leave the phone down. You're under arrest.
All right.
Leave the phone down.
Okay.
Police took her into custody at a former school in Richmound, where Didulo and her group have been living and broadcasting online. 15 other people were also arrested. No charges have been laid at this hour. Didulo is known for promoting conspiracy theories, and her followers have disrupted local residents since arriving in that community. The village office closed its doors to the public in July outside of prearranged appointments, citing harassment and intimidation towards staff. I want to bring in Mac Lamoureux. He is an investigative reporter and a former Vice News senior journalist, and he's been following Didulo's activity for years now. We've reached him in Victoria. Thank you so much, Mac, for your time.
Thanks for having me.
So, I mean, this is for a lot of us who have not heard about this. This is a kind of a fascinating story. You were listening to the RCMP update earlier today and the arrest of Didulo and the 15 others. Mm-hmm. How significant is today's arrest, given how much you have followed this story?
Well, the arrest is quite a significant update on the story. I suppose after seeing the size of the police action, I was expecting to see a bit more than just 4 replica firearms being seized. But it's still early on and charges could still be laid. So we'll wait and see what comes from it. I suppose I understand why they took such dramatic measures. We had several RCMP teams moving in on the compound this morning at 4:30. Police, from what looked like it from the live stream, with long arms and almost full military regalia, swept the compound and got everybody out. And I understand why they took such dramatic measures, as it's a pretty secretive group that's deeply entrenched in what could easily be described as a compound, and firearms were reported there. So I understand why they would be nervous.
Yeah, so what they said, though, I think, was that this investigation, it started August 25th, was really sparked by reports that there was a single firearm, perhaps, inside. And as you point out, in the end, what they found were 4, 1 in the building and 3 in various vehicles. But the police response going in was, no one, I've not seen pictures of it, but just from the description, we're talking about vehicles, drones, tactical vehicles as well, more than 30 vehicles in total here. When you say you can understand why, because they are known for promoting conspiracy, what do you mean by you can understand why they would go in with that kind of force?
Well, what they're dealing with right now is a lot of unknowns. Inside the school, they don't know exactly what the cult is doing. It's very secretive inside there. If they do get reports of firearms, they don't necessarily know how many they may have behind there. So I just think what I'm saying there is that there were just a lot of unknowns, and they were just mitigating the risk the best they could. From what I can tell from their presser, that there was no incident involved in the arrests. Everybody went peacefully, and other than kind of the dramatic nature of it, it went quite well.
So Didulo is known as the Queen of Canada, and the cult we're talking about is the Kingdom of Canada. I don't know much about this cult. Are they? Is it known for violence, or is it primarily conspiracy theories? It's certainly much more focused on conspiracy theories. I wouldn't necessarily say that they are known for their violence. They've had violent episodes in the past, particularly when a few years ago they tried to arrest an entire police precinct in Peterborough. That went kind of exactly as you think it would go. Most of them got arrested. Romana's rhetoric has certainly been violent in the past. She's called for violence against healthcare workers, particularly during the COVID pandemic. And that sort of thing, she has been picked up by the RCMP to do a wellness check after making kind of threats. But overall, the group isn't necessarily violent. The harm that comes from this group very much comes from a financial and interpersonal level. Based on what you know of this cult and what you know of Romana Didulo,
What happens if there are no charges? She's released, her followers are released. What do you imagine goes forward for this tiny village of Richmound, Saskatchewan?
Well, I expect them to return to the school in Richmound, and I am very interested on what happens if that does occur, because there have been tensions, as you noted earlier, between the locals and the school. The locals have held several protests. The cult, in some ways, have actually threatened public executions at times against these people that are protesting them. And sorry, I cut out there for a second. But these.
Sorry, you were saying you're interested to see what happens, that you expect they will go back to the school.
Yeah, I expect that they'll most likely go back to the school. This is the best thing that has happened to the cult. Prior to this, they were driving around Canada, touring, going from essentially box store, like a Walmart parking lot, to other parking lots, and holding really small, little meet and greets with their followers. Now they have actual infrastructure. They have something that they can actually build out of. They're not going to give that up easily. So if there are charges, the police could tie in clauses that mean that they can't return to the school with those charges. But if there are none, likely they will return there. And then the tensions between them and the school will be interesting to see what happens if this exasperates them or not.
Mac, really fascinating to speak to you and to get your insight on this, given how much I know you have followed this cult. That is Mac Lamoureux, an investigative reporter joining us from Victoria, BC. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.